How significant do you think these changes are that Airbnb is making compared to what Google and Facebook have done here?
I think it's really important that companies like Airbnb are saying that they're eliminating arbitration for discrimination. Using that word instead of using the word sexual harassment and sexual assault is really important, because oftentimes, hypothetically, you could have a female employee who happens to be of a minority or dark-skinned, and sexual harassment claims could be tied into racial claims. And so with a policy like Google's, you're left thinking, well, is she going to have to arbitrate race claims, but she's free to go to court about sexual harassment? It doesn't make any sense. It really needs to be all discrimination claims, because sexual harassment is just a component of gender discrimination.
Now, Ruth Porat, Alphabet CFO, Google's parent company, says she walked out with employees during the worldwide Google walkout. At the same time, the company has said they've fired 48 employees over the last couple of years for sexual harassment. They didn't get exit packages. But what they don't talk about is the culture that led to 48 people, engaging in some kind of bad behavior. Is 48 to you, for a company of that size, is that a lot? It's still a lot. 48 is a lot anywhere, but the problem is that 48, that's what they're disclosing, that's what we know about. I, as a lawyer who practices in this area, has to think there could be a lot more than 48. And the culture that allows such conduct to exist in 48 cases, it's hard to say that that can't be happening company-wide. So it's a lot, but that's why arbitration is such a problem, because there's no transparency, and companies can hide if it's 4 employees, if it's 40, if it's 400, and that's what has to change. Google isn't waiving anti-class action provisions. So my question is, how much do you think these changes, ending forced arbitration for sexual harassment cases solely, how much do you think that will actually change the company, change the culture? I mean, will it really prevent more of these things from happening, or do other things have to happen as well? I think it's a start. It's certainly not the cure and the ultimate fix, but it is a start, because you need to empower female employees with the knowledge that if they do speak out, that they're going to be taken seriously, that they're going to be listened to, and that their claims are going to be investigated. And the best way to do that is to be transparent. And so by not keeping them in arbitration, you're giving women the ability to speak out and know that they will be heard. I'm curious, with the rise of the Me Too movement, increasing reporting on these cases, the allegations of Christine Blasey Ford, are you hearing more women coming forward? Do you see, have you seen an explosion in the volume of cases that you're getting, the women that you're talking to? I love this question, because I've been doing this a long time, and so it's always been there. The sexual harassment that the whole world seems to just be hearing about now has been going on for years, and it's the difference is that people are actually paying attention to the work that I do and other lawyers in this space. So the volume of cases or the number of women contacting us isn't really that different, but what is different is that people are listening. And I think that I think we're on the tip of the iceberg, and I say this over and over again, because many, many women are still very afraid to speak out about what has happened to them. And it's changing, but it's slow. So you're expecting more women to come forward in the future? Is that what you mean by saying we're at the tip of the iceberg? Definitely. Now, I do want to ask you about one last story. The CEO of Flipkart, which is an e-commerce company that Walmart bought in India, key to their future e-commerce strategy, he has now stepped down for misconduct. How do you handle these cases when you're a company, a global company, operating in different countries with different laws and different cultures?
Well, at the end of the day, if you're a company that is transacting business in the United States and you're going to be held accountable to what people think here is the correct standard, and I don't think people are willing to say, oh, I'm going to give so-and-so a pass just because they're operating in a different country or a different culture. You know, here in Manhattan, we have people from countries all over the world, cultures all over the world, and we're still able to have one set of New York City anti-discrimination laws. And I think that's what has to apply.